you know, being top reader on Goodreads, having read almost 5,000 books in my lifetime. I'm only 5 books away from reading 5,000 books in my lifetime. I get little scenarios in my head, like little like snippets of like it's kind of like a dream state kind of experience. And like so I had this one vision of like just imagining how it's not just white people but like mostly white people felt like being around black people during the time of slavery. Like these black people had no education, they couldn't read, and I just imagine how many times these white people, even black people, because some black people like Frederick Douglass, he Frederick Douglass and like and Du Bois, W. Du Bois, he graduated from Harvard. Like how they must have felt being around these black people that were so uneducated and didn't know how to read. Just thinking in their head, or even just saying it, this fucking n-word, this n-word here, this monkey, this n-word. And I'm like, that's the thing, like I don't think anybody really understands how I feel. And like I don't ask you to understand how I feel, but like I feel like I'm surrounded by monkeys, and I'm surrounded by like ignorant people all over the place. And like it's just so it's I mean, obviously I'm not asking you to like have compassion for me or understand, but it's just like Jesus Christ, like I'm just surrounded by these just a bunch of n-words. And it's not a racial thing. Like this, you can be black, you can be white, you can be Chinese, you can be Asian, you can be Native American, but you're still an n-word to me, dude. And like it's not, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but like I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but that's just the way I feel. And like, and, I'm definitely not trying to get banned from Facebook or Instagram, so I didn't say the N word. But that's just how I feel. Just a lot of ignorant people that I'm surrounded by. And like, you know, as it grows near and near for me to receive my doctorate, my PhD. I'm going to be receiving my PhD sometime soon. I just I'm coming to like a lot of like eureka or epiphany moments that experiences like that. And like it's not that I understand racism or anything like that, but because racism is a social construct. Why is racism a social construct? Because like, you know, in some sense, like you're groomed into a certain like education status. You're groomed into like into certain jobs. Like the Asian people are groomed into stem cell, not stem cell, are groomed into STEM, like science and technology and all that stuff. They're groomed. And like, if you have Asian parents, you're groomed to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. It's a grooming. And like same thing with black people and like Dominicans and Latinos and stuff. You're groomed to a certain kind of job. And like, a lot of it is conscious, but like some of it is subconscious. And it seems like it's not happening, but if you think about it, like it's just the way it is. It's just the grooming of it. And even grooming of like genetics and stuff like that, like with like people with like, I guess I'm gonna be like, um it's not necessarily eugenics and stuff, where eugenics where you can like tell, anyways, eugenics is a study of like like race as in like for finding certain qualities of people. And like so, yes, racism is a social construct, but like also there's a breeding of genetic breeding of people. Like if you marry an athlete and you're an athlete, then like chances are high that your child or your children are going to be athletes or athletic. And if you're smart and you marry a smart person, the chances are higher that your child is going to be smart. And so that's genetic breeding. And that's just, that's the thing. That's why I say it's subconscious. It's because like, you don't, if you're smart, you don't want to marry a stupid person. unless, blah blah blah, unless you want to marry a beautiful girl or a beautiful guy. And that's the thing. So it's like you know and the higher up you go in the hierarchy of like social status and like social proof, the more opportunities you have to date and marry like guys and girls that are of higher quality. And then so that kind of like it just it's like breeding for a kingdom or for royalty. Like that's why eventually royalty just was inbred. And like I'm not necessarily saying that they were incestual or anything like that, but in some cases they were. But like that's the thing, like once you reach a certain plateau of like a certain precipice in society, at least in your on your status level, then like you're only dating a certain level of people. And like that's why the caste system in India is so prevalent. Well, not prevalent, but it's so important, because like you don't want to marry down. Like if you're a Brahmin, you don't want to marry like a Sudra or like an untouchable. And yeah, and these things are um yeah, the thing is, just saying it, you sound like an asshole. Just saying it, you sound like you're some sort of like inhumane person. But like that's just the way it is. Like, you know, you know. Anyways, this whole diatribe, this whole like whatever this is, this oration or oratio, I don't know what it is, but like this whole thing is just I'm just talking because I'm bored. And it's not that I'm bored. It's just I've been reading it all day, and like I feel like expounding on something, and this is what I came up with. So forgive me, and fuck you guys.